No one. There's no questions. All right. Okay. So I guess that's the end of today's webinar. Let's I'm just being cheeky. All right, everyone. Let's just get the conversation going. We've been adding a few features into Autochartist lately. It actually was about a month or two ago we added this in. Some of you don't know about it. We've got a section under messaging and alerts called Analysts Research. It's a intraday. It's something that you get once or twice a day in your inbox, written by one of our analysts here internally at Autochartist. The hit rate is pretty good on these things. Errol, I think you did a video about it. Errol, you might want to just send me the link so I can pass it on to everybody. But the trades have been pretty successful over the last few weeks. So maybe it's a good idea for you all to actually go into this messaging and alert section, fill in your email address under Analysts Research and click Save. Well, obviously tick it, and then click Save, and get that into your inbox when it comes through. Okay, so Errol, can you pass me that link for those videos if you don't mind? Then I can just pass it on to everyone in terms of those summaries that you did of the hit rate of those Analysts Research.
Yeah, I put it into the chat section. Do you see it?
Oh, you put it into the chat section. Oh, I switched my chat section off. Give me a second. I'm just going to quickly go there. Oh, I got it. Oh, did you send that to everybody?
Yes.
Good. All right. So everybody's got that. That's great. Thanks, Errol. Thanks for that. All right. So we have our first question,
yeah,
which is from Neil. Is that right?
Yes.
Sometimes during the day the charts freeze. That's interesting. Neil, can I ask you a follow-up question on that? Which charts freeze? Because Autochartist doesn't provide real-time charts. Autochartist charts are static images. So is it possibly the MT4 that you're talking about, or is it Autochartist doesn't update? No, nothing from Neil yet. Maybe he's typing up an answer. Okay, so let's get going for everyone. I'll start giving a brief overview of the platform. Otherwise, there's no questions coming through, which is quite surprising. Last week, it was a very, very heated discussion. Actually, the questions didn't stop rolling through. So let me start with with everything. Oh, I see Neil has come back with an answer. Autochartist doesn't update. That is strange, Neil. Actually. I guess what you need to do is log out and log back in, but I'm surprised. It's the first time I hear of this problem. Do you mind next time when that happens, send us a screenshot maybe? Our support email, Errol will put the support email into the chat window now. If you could just drop us a screenshot and an email as soon as that happens, then we can actually get somebody to call through to you and actually figure the problem out, because that's unusual for Autochartist to stop running. I have my Autochartist running on my computer pretty much 24 hours a day, unless I take my laptop home with me, and I haven't seen that. So sorry about that. Let's try and get that resolved. Thanks, Neil. Okay, so Errol, any questions from your side that you want to pick up from last week, or I know Yvette is on the line with us as well.
Not that I can think of now. Let me just maybe think.
Okay, so Nuno is asking.
Yeah, okay.
Nuno is asking a personal suggestion. Not sure if possible to have the legends of Autochartist in a different window. Ah, interesting, Nuno. I'm not sure what you mean by legends, but let's actually talk about some of the icons on the Autochartist platform. So you can see that there's three different types of icons, right? There's this one with the two lines and the squiggly bit in the middle. That's a chart pattern. Then you got this what we call a Fibonacci extension. That represents Fibonacci patterns, and you have the key levels, which is just two lines. Key levels are really horizontal support and resistance levels. And as you can see, you can actually tell that these icons match the icons of the pattern type in the active trading opportunity section. Right, so we can tell that the triangle is a chart pattern, and you have a channel, which is a chart pattern, and there's this support level, that's a support resistance level, right, a key level. Okay, and then here, this ABCD, that's a Fibonacci pattern, right? Now, the other important thing to look at is whether the arrows are gray or green, all right? Now, what this means is that the gray arrows means that the patterns are still emerging. Emerging means that the pattern has not yet broken through support or resistance. So as we look at this example here, USDJPY 15-minute candles, you can see that the price is still trading within support and resistance, right? Very clearly, it has not broken through the support line as yet. Okay. Now, if we look at this example over here, this chart pattern here, GBP USD, has broken through a resistance level, and this is why there is a green arrow, right? If we actually uncheck in the filter section, we uncheck all the emerging stuff, we uncheck all the emerging, you'll actually see that we'll be left with just green and red arrows, right? So that means these are all the breakout patterns. Now, the thing is that during sideways moving markets, I actually recommend looking at the emerging patterns. But during trending or breakout type markets, you need to start looking at the breakout patterns. So if all of you have been watching the markets, yesterday there was a major move on USD, Euro USD. You know, the markets, maybe we're going to see some volatility coming up. We can see over the last, like this is a good example, ORD USD. These are daily candles, and we can see over the last month, all the markets have been doing is moving sideways with no volatility whatsoever. Okay, but now suddenly with yesterday's move on Euro, the market seems to be moving. It's quite a strong breakout. So it's a good opportunity now for the next few days to keep an eye out on these completed and breakout patterns to see what trends are going to be coming up over the next few days. When the markets start moving sideways again, what you do is you switch your view to the emerging section and you watch what happens on the emerging patterns, right? But even now, what we're gonna find a lot on a lot of the emerging patterns right now is some big market moves. Although it's sometimes it's not exactly the case. We do see a lot of these trending emerging patterns, which means there is some kind of trend that's starting to happen in the market. Okay, so Errol, help me out here. While I was talking, I see an absolute fortune of questions starting to come through. So do you want to start reading a few out to me?
Okay, just on Nuno, who actually asked the question that you were trying to answer. He says, I think he's actually talking about the MT4, and I think he's saying when you load all the filters, when you put all the all the different chart patterns, Fibonacci patterns, key levels on the same chart, it gets like overloaded with lines. So maybe you can just suggest on a good idea on how to set up your MT4.
Okay, so I've just switched to my MT4 platform right now. And let me show you what I do. Firstly, again, this is my personal trading style. I don't trade Fibonacci patterns. Okay, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm such a big critic of Fibonacci patterns. They've done nothing bad to me in the past, but really I found that if you draw enough lines on a graph, the price is bound to hit one of those lines, but that doesn't mean that you can use it for trading. So firstly, I must tell you that I use only chart patterns and key levels and volatility analysis. Okay, so when I drop my indicators onto the screen, I drop chart patterns and key levels and the volatility analysis onto it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove those things that I've got there now, just to have a clean graph, all right? And I'm going to drop some of them on and show you what I actually do. So when I drop chart patterns on, I drop chart patterns on. Obviously, you have to select Allow DLL Imports, and I click OK. Now, it's going to go ahead and connect to Autochartist. Now, know that the little legend that Nuno is talking about, it's going to come up on the screen. Now, if we just give it a moment. Okay, there's this legend over here on the screen. Now, you have a few options. Either when you drag and drop the indicator onto the chart, you can unselect the this legend to be shown. Or what you can do is on the top left-hand side of the legend, there's a little box. If you double-click that box to make sure it's selected, you can just move that box somewhere. And then on the next tick that comes through, the legend will be moved. Similarly, when you take when I take key levels, I allow DLL imports, I can either hide it, right? It says show legend, it's set to true, so I can set this to false if I want to. Or if you want it there, then we'll just give it a moment to come up. So there it is. Once it comes up, you can just double-click the icon on the top left, move that icon out of the way, and then drop it, right? And then now it's out of the way. I must be honest with you, I almost never use these legends because I know my patterns very well, and I think what will actually end up happening after a while for you is that you will actually stop using the legends just like I have. Now what I have done, or when you install the Autochartist plugin on MetaTrader, is you will also get a template installed, and that template under the template section is called Autochartist, and you can actually just click on that Autochartist template, and that will set the default view for Autochartist actually. So that's another way you can actually do it. Or we've actually installed a default layout, which here it is, default, which is an Autochartist layout without the legend. So you've got a number of different options about how to get rid of those legends. Personally, I don't really find them useful. I just like to see the support resistance levels. Of course, and the volatility as well.
Okay, thanks, Ivan. Should we move on to the next question?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, Oscar, I'm just going to read it to you. Good morning. My question is regarding the Autochartist chart pattern. How do we know if a signal is still active on the platform? If you see US dollar CHF and US dollar CAD daily now, they are reaching the forecast, but the grey box is at the back, not at the front of the candles.
Okay, let's just see USD Swiss franc. Well, not completely, but that's okay. Let's look at US dollar Swiss franc. I'm going to try and filter my my screen here to get to US dollar Swiss franc to try figure out where we are right now. So that was from Oscar. So I am looking at US dollar Swiss franc right now. The only thing I have on US dollar Swiss franc through Autochartist is an emerging rising channel. Let's just see if I can find what Oscar's talking about on USDCAD. Oh, sorry. There's actually I haven't shown all the patterns. Apologies for that. US dollar Swiss franc. Let's just try and, sorry guys, I'm actually just trying to find the thing that Oscar is talking about. So I don't have anything in US dollars. I have something in US dollar CAD. Okay, maybe this is the thing that Oscar is talking about, this US dollar CAD example on daily. Basically what this shows us is that 2 days ago there was a breakout on US dollar CAD at daily candles, and Autochartist provided this forecast up to 109.45. Yesterday there was a slight downward movement, still an upward trending movement, but a bearish candle on US dollar CAD. But I think our forecast still holds for this. I mean, so I'm not sure what Oscar means, but it looks like this opportunity is still relevant because it hasn't yet reached its forecast level. Let's actually open that up in our MetaTrader, USDCAD daily. Okay, let's have a look at that. Let's open up USDCAD. USDCAD daily candles. Let's see what's going on here. We'll just give it a moment to come up. Okay, so USDCAD daily, there it is. Oh, and this is I think I have a delayed feed. Is that right, Errol? I think my feed is slightly delayed. Because I have a demo version of MetaTrader. Okay, all right. So let's try and so now the forecast that Autochartist provided was to 109.45. Let's just draw that line in at 109.45. Okay, 109.45. So we can actually see that there's that this target is still definitely in play. I mean, there's no doubt about the fact that it's still in play. There's still a lot of movement to go before hitting that 109.45 mark. So the way we can tell that is that let me actually bring up my drawing tool. You can see that firstly there's a resistance level at this price, right? So Autochartist, if we're actually looking at that as a horizontal resistance level, there's an opportunity for the price to move all the way up to that level, which is maybe around close to 1.1. Okay, but certainly up to 109.45, there's still quite a bit of time to reach that level. And in fact, if you look at these two lines here, which is the volatility analysis section of Autochartist, and maybe I'll discuss that in just a moment, what we're saying is that it looks like this target of 109.45 will be reached in the next 24 hours. So well, that's based on the expected volatility of US dollar CAD daily. So certainly there's still a whole another trading day to go before we can say that this pattern is no longer relevant. Errol, I went around in a little bit of circles. Maybe I didn't. What did you get from that question? I hope I've answered it.
Yeah, it wasn't so clear, but I think maybe he was just asking. Has it finished when it reaches the grey box or not? I think you actually did answer it.
So when it reaches the grey box, look, again, this is my strategy. When something reaches the grey box, I take profit. That's because I love taking profit. I never really chase the trades and see how much I can make from them. One thing I do know for sure is that once the price moves a lot, nothing in the world keeps on going up or keeps on going down. Things go up and down. So there's always a retracement. One can always expect a retracement once one hits some kind of target level. So but I am more aggressive when it comes to taking profits. That's just my style of trading. And then just in general, we try to do our best to keep the active trading opportunities filled with opportunities that are currently valid on the market. So a nice way to look at that is to look at this candle, this age in candles. This age in candles means how long ago in candles was this pattern identified. So like EuroCAD, this was identified 0 candles ago. It's a brand new pattern, right? But if you look further down the list, the candle sizes and ages get older and older, right? So this, for example, was an opportunity found on Euro New Zealand dollar, an inverse head and shoulders on Euro New Zealand dollar. That was identified 6 candles ago. If you zoom in on that chart, you will actually see that Autochartist made the forecast initially on that last green candle, but then subsequent to the forecast, the price moved in the direction of the little transparent candles that we drew up. So you can see that the forecast in the direction was pretty good. The price is still moving in that direction. Is this still a valid pattern? Yes, it is, because it hasn't yet reached its target. This is why it's still on the list, right? Although it is a slightly older pattern. Again, personal preference. I always talk about personal preference. I like to keep an eye on the things that are kind of 0, 1, or 2 candles old. I don't like to keep on an eye on anything much greater than that, because sometimes you lose the movement. Here is an example. This was something identified on USDCAD 15-minute candles. That was identified 3 candles ago. So we made that forecast initially when there was that red candle over there, little red candle. We made a forecast to go down, and the price did actually move down in the last 45 minutes. But now the price has already kind of hit that support level. Would I trade this right now? Well, you know, I guess one could maybe trade it, but personally, I think there's a lot of other opportunities in the market which you can look at. So there's no need to be forced to trade this one specifically. Okay, let me stop harping about that, and Errol, let me move on to the next question.
Okay, we have a question from Johan, or Johan, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. He says, when come the signal for EAR? I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe the signal for the ear. Maybe he's talking about the sound alert.
Oh, the sound alert? Oh, okay, okay. Oh, all right. Johan, I hope we understood you correctly. If not, please if you could just restate your question. Maybe even in your language, your first language, and we can get it translated on our side during the presentation. So, so there's a sound alert section over here. If you switch your sound alerts to on, if the on button is green, then you will actually hear an audible, like a beep beep, coming up on your speakers when there's a new opportunity at Autochartist. But you have to have your speakers turned on, and obviously the Autochartist application needs to be running. If we have misunderstood your question, Johan, please could you restate that question?
And the next question is from Tajamal. It
Yes.
sounds like a technical question. He says, I use Autochartist through RoboForex broker when I set my searching criteria, but when I log out and then log in, my search setting is change or remove.
Tajamal, that is very, very strange. This should not be happening. If you click on the search button and you create yourself a custom search, let's do one right now on Euro USD, for example, and I create a search. The next time you log in, this search should definitely be there again. If there's a technical problem like this, please could you email us support@autochartist.com and let us know about it so that we can try and reproduce the problem. But that should not be happening. I am not sure why that's happening. If you could send us some more details, maybe some screenshots, Tajamal, that would be greatly appreciated.
And this also sounds like a technical question from Kevin.
Yeah.
I look at the indices charts, which always seem to be 50 to 60 pips out from the real chart. So you have to match them up to the charts. Example, MT4. Why is this? Did you get that?
So that's interesting. Yeah, I got that. So thanks, Kevin, for that. So I think one needs to remember what Autochartist actually is. Autochartist is not a real-time charting package. Autochartist is a research and analytics package, and we are not allowed to redistribute data, which means that the best we can do is update our charts either every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, or 4 hours, depending on the candle size of the chart. So we do not update our charts in real time. So for example, if you see this opportunity on Euro USD 240-minute candles, and you open this chart on when the signal happens, so when the signal actually happened, the price would have been around 133.92 on Euro USD. But then if you open up your MetaTrader within the next 4 hours, our charts would not have updated, which means that the price may be way out of whack with regards to where Euro USD is right now in the market. So the charts should be correct for the time at which the opportunity was identified. Yeah, okay. I think that if you feel that it's not, then we do have some kind of problem. But what we can do is we actually do a quick test right now. Let's look at Forex intraday, and let's look at some examples. So this is JPY opportunity that came up right now. So right now, JPY, according to Autochartist, is somewhere around 95, just under 95.70. JPY. So JPY, let's have a look at Autochartist. JPY, 15-minute chart. We'll just give it a moment. So we are, where's the price? 95.61. We are slightly off. It looks like we are 15 minutes off. Oh, maybe because I have a delayed version of Autochartist. That could be the reason. But we're kind of in the ballpark. 95. Let's just have a look at this again. 95.65, and currently we are 95.61. So we're 4 pips out on that. So it's a little bit out, but you can see that the market has moved quite dramatically in the last few minutes. So that could be one of the reasons why that is happening. I think we move on to Chris. So Chris is asking, why don't you provide crude oil and natural gas for a long time? I don't see expired opportunities either. Chris, so Autochartist doesn't give analysis all the time on everything. It just gives opportunities when we see them happening. So, for example, with regards to commodities, here's something that happened on crude oil. That was yesterday. Actually, crude oil daily candles broke through a support level, so there's a head and shoulders pattern. But we don't have analysts sitting and monitoring the charts. We have automated computer systems sitting and monitoring the charts. So what we do is only when there's an opportunity do we signal you. We don't always have a view on every financial instruments. That is not what we do. So Yam's question about which brokers support Autochartist. If you go to, I can't actually show you the brokers on this presentation because this presentation is supposed to be broker independent or broker neutral. But if you go to the www.autochartist.com website, and I'll just wait for that to come up on your screens. All right, there we go. If you click on sign in on the Autochartist website, that will take you to a page with all the brokers that support Autochartist. There's a lot of images coming up right now. So go to www.autochartist.com and you'll get a list of brokers there. Okay, Errol, help me out here.
Okay, we have a question from Christian. Hello, about the alerts and messages, it sends trade signals. You can add the price you are entering the order, ? For example, according to the graph on today's alert on Euro New Zealand, the take profit was more than 30 pips away and stop loss about 18. But when I got the alert, it was almost the opposite, 18 pips for take profit and 30 to stop loss.
So it seems that everyone is struggling with some delays, right, on Autochartist, which is actually quite strange. And I think we probably need to look into this from a technical perspective about why people are actually seeing delays. So I'm not quite sure.
I think he's actually asking about under trading community, the intraday trading analysis. I think he's saying that by the time he got the email, it had already moved a certain amount of pips.
Oh, is that so?
But what I would
Okay.
actually say is that most of his trades that he does choose are 4-hour trades, and they usually have a long time to get to the take profit. It's just I think lately
Right.
with the low volatility, he's chosen much closer take profits, but they usually
Right.
are quite
Right.
a distance away.
But I guess one note that I'm getting is from a few people is that people are looking for more timely opportunities, and maybe that's something we need to look at as a company, and maybe getting those emails out sooner, and actually maybe also getting the results out to the application sooner, because I do know there is a few minutes delay
Yeah,
built into the system. There's like a 2-minute. The screen only updates every 2 minutes or 2 or 3 minutes, so maybe that's something we need to look at.
yeah.
So thank you to everyone. We will definitely have a look at it. Thank you for posting those questions.
Okay, yes, from Neil. Why
Okay,
can't I add
so
indices to my search list?
right, I got it. So Neil, every broker offers their own list of instruments. So if you want your broker to allow you to see certain instruments, just ask them to get hold of us and to let us know that they should that we should actually add that to to the available instruments on their platform. Normally, brokers choose only the instruments that are tradable through their platform. But I do believe your broker does have the ability to trade indices, so there's no reason why we don't have them on there. So all you got to do is just ask your broker to get them to add Autochartist to add the instruments you want to Autochartist, and then we will get that done from our side. So that's not an issue if you just ask them for it. Or you can actually just drop us an email, support@autochartist.com. Let us know what your broker name is and which instruments you'd like to see, and then we can actually ask the broker on your behalf whether we can enable it or not for you.
Okay. The next question, I don't know if we've actually got time if you want to go into it, but he's saying, how do I get to install Autochartist on my MT4? It's a bit complicated now than before.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that name. I think the name is Odunigba. I think I pronounced it. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly. Thank you
It's a
for that
Enigma.
question.
Yeah.
So yes, it is complicated, unfortunately. That's because MetaQuotes, the company that does MetaTrader, has complicated matters for us. It is complicated because now it puts all the user files in funny places. The best thing to do is if you're having trouble with it, and most of the time people only have trouble if they have multiple versions of MetaTrader installed. If you have one version of MetaTrader installed, it's normally a pretty simple, straightforward process. If you're struggling with that, the trick is to choose the correct MetaTrader version that you're trying to install Autochartist into, and there's a screen that allows you to select that that option. And now when you get to that screen, I think the best thing to do is actually to pop us an email to support@autochartist.com and ask us to walk it through it, or maybe you can just send us an email immediately and say my broker is whoever your broker is, and we can send you the correct plugin. And normally, if you install the plugin specific to that broker, it makes life a lot easier. But certainly, I think it's out of the scope of this presentation because I don't have an install script right now, so I can't actually show you how to do it. But if you could just drop us an email with maybe even your telephone number, we can call you and walk you through that process. I would be more than happy to do that.
See that Yvette actually posted a link to help with the process in the chat.
Great. Okay, great. Thank you for that.
Okay, let's move on. A Mac question. So do you provide the scripts for MT4 so you can install manually if you are running on a Mac?
If you're running manual on a Mac, we don't support Mac at this stage because it requires a technology called DLLs, Dynamic Link Libraries, which are specific to Windows machines. So right now we only support our plugin through MT4 running on Windows.
Okay. Okay. Odenigba again is asking, and how do I trade the Autochartist pattern and key level?
Okay. All right.
Sure.
So okay. So that's a bit of a broad question, but you know, let's do it. You know, briefly. Let's look at an example. So let me just switch to Forex right now. We have a lot of Forex questions, so let me just switch to Forex. So here is an example. Opportunity on or JPY 15 minutes channel down. Okay, so I would go to or JPY 15-minute channel down. Autochartist thinks that the price is going to 95.80. So let me see where 95.80 is. So now what I could do is I could potentially now place a long position, a buy order. Let's actually do that. Place a buy order for, you know, I can't do it right now. I have zero balance, but I would place a buy market, and then I would set my stop loss and take profits to be at potentially at 95.80. Of course, if I want to be more conservative, I could look at my volatility analysis, right, which shows me where I'm expecting the price to be in the next 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 60 minutes. So I could set my take profit to be, let's say, 30 at the 30-minute mark, and the same similarly on the downside on the stop loss. Interestingly enough, the 30-minute expected volatility coincides with the turning point over here. I don't know, you can see that turning point, which is quite nice. That's normally what I look for when I look for setting stop losses. Is I look to for previous turning points, previous levels of support or resistance. So the ones I would consider in this graph as stop losses would be this 95.46, or even maybe something around yeah, even 95.50 or so. Seems to be a bit of support over there if you're looking to get out of the trade pretty quickly. But essentially what we're trying to do at Autochartist is make the process a lot simpler. So instead of looking at the charts yourself, you know, try to look at Autochartist to give you some ideas of what opportunities are around.
Okay. Jorgen, I think that's how you pronounce it, is asking,
Yes.
how is it that I can get a buy signal on gold 2 days ago valid for 4 days, and then today I get a sell signal in gold valid for 6 days? A little bit confusing.
Well, Jorgen, you have to ask yourself the question. If we have a new analysis, do you prefer us to keep the old analysis valid? I think at every point in time, you have to produce the analysis with the latest information, right? So I think it's completely valid. What that means to me is close your position and open a different position. You know, I mean, you might forecast something, but then the market moves against you. You need to change that forecast, right? You need to go in a different direction. So it's you know, we keep on updating our research. So sometimes we say gold is going to go up for a few days, and then the market moves the other way, and we say, well, we think we're changing our forecast, and we think it's going to go down. So you can either stay with the original forecast, or you can update with the latest forecast. The one thing that you need to remember is that if you're looking for a system that gives you 100% accuracy for every forecast, you're looking in the wrong place. Autochartist is not the tool for you. In fact, you shouldn't be looking at the financial markets. You should be, I don't know what you should be looking at, but nothing gives you 100%. In fact, the research out of the United States shows that professional analysts, people that actually do this for a living, only make a correct forecast 54% of the time. Okay, so that goes to show you that every few hours a professional analyst would be changing their forecast on any financial instrument. So, and I think we do the same thing with Autochartist, and I think that is an accepted way of, you know, keeping your research up to date. So Oscar is asking about a grey box on MT4 and you don't see it on mine. Yes, you don't see the grey box on mine because what I've actually done is I have actually switched off my target region. Can you see there's a filter on my screen called Show Target Region? I've switched mine off. If I switch mine on, then it'll actually show you the grey box on my screen. I just find it a little bit confusing. So you can see it coming up now. I don't like to show the grey box on my screen, but that's personal preference. So the next question, if you don't mind if I skip on, Errol, because we're already on 45 minutes on this presentation. The approaches don't appear on MT4. Nuno, again, this is personal preference. What you got to do is you got to go into the indicators, and if you edit the settings, you can actually show here, show completed or show emerging, true or false. So you can actually set the settings of whether to show the emerging or completed patterns on your MT4 platform. So back to Kevin's question. He wants us to look at the FTSE. I'm not quite sure what that's related to.
I think he was saying because it was out of sync.
Oh, because it was out of sync. Okay, so have a look now. I don't have anything on FTSE right now. So I don't have anything on FTSE right now. Maybe I'll look at some of the expired opportunities. Mostly on S&P. Well, okay, let's move on. I can't see right now. Kevin, if you don't mind, could you please send us a screenshot of that? I want to look into that because it seems to be a problem that a lot of people are addressing here at this webinar. So I'd like to have a look into that. Tajamal, I see your problem. You're logging in with the wrong username and password. This is something very strange with regards to your broker. Errol, could I ask you to take Tajamal's email address down and send that query? Could you escalate that query up to our second level support guys?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've already taken the details.
You have. Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, so Tajamal also says he's an MQL programmer and wants to use the EA on his signals. Sure, Tajamal, all you got to do is just drop us an email again requesting the source code for our indicators, and we'll be glad to send that through to you, and you can use those to build your own expert advisor on those signals. No problem. There's another question from Andre about MT4. So I don't know, we're not an MT4 support desk, so we don't know how to run MetaTrader on Mac, but certainly our Autochartist services are not available on the Mac version of MetaTrader at this stage. Christian, do we still support JForex? We have a version of JForex available, a version of our plugin available for JForex. If you go onto the trading community site, there's a JForex plugin. We don't support it anymore because we're not actually getting any support from Dukascopy with regards to this. So it might or might not work, but we don't update it or support it at this stage. Mike wants to talk about Gartley patterns, and if I'm telling Mike how to actually trade Gartley patterns, I'd be lying to him because I don't know how to trade Gartley patterns. Well, not completely, but let's have a look at the Gartley pattern. Okay, so this is an emerging Gartley. Let me quickly see if I've got any completed Gartleys. Okay, I don't have any completed Gartleys. All right, let me just find one here for you. Euro Swiss franc. Let me find another one. All right, so here's an example of a Gartley pattern, so you can see we've got the X place a bit wrong. X maybe should have been a bit higher up, but we got the rest of the patterns quite well. And so what you can see here on this Gartley pattern is that if the price reaches 95.71 on all JPY, what it means is that then we would have a well-formed Gartley pattern, right? So right now, this is not something that you should trade. You should wait for the price to hit 95.71, turn around at that price, and then you can actually trade it short, right? And set your take profits to be any of these levels. What I normally do if I trade Fibonacci, and again I want to tell you that I don't normally trade Fibonacci, I'd never set really stop losses or take profit. Well, I set a stop loss, not a take profit, because a stop loss is if it moves in the wrong direction. But from a take profit perspective, I actually have to watch my screen to see if it breaks through these levels, right? So right now, with this opportunity on all JPY, you don't take a position yet. You wait until it hits 95.71 and does a turnaround at that point, right? Maybe a one short candle, and then you can take a short position and watch it as it moves through these levels over here. You know what, Errol? We're running out of time and the things are streaming through. Can you just pick one or two that you think would be applicable to many of our listeners?
Okay, maybe just address our favorites tab, because some people have it and some people do not.
Okay, right. So our favorites is only provided by certain brokers. It is a premium product provided by only certain brokers. So so all of our brokers provide trading opportunities and volatility analysis sections, all right, and messaging and alerts and trading community and performance statistics. But only certain premium only the brokers who subscribe to our premium services get the Our Favorites section and Event Impact Analysis section. The Our Favorites section really combines the trading opportunities together with the performance statistics and allows you to filter the opportunities based on the highest probability opportunities, which are calculated on past performance. Again, past performance, just a disclaimer, may not be indicative of future performance, but certainly what we're saying here is that this opportunity on GBP Swiss franc, for example, has a 74% chance of hitting its forecast level of 153.13 based on the past 6 months performance of this instrument of channels on 60-minute data.
I think we should stop here because we are over time. I think there are a few more questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to carry on?
Well, let me carry on for 2 more minutes until 5 minutes to. Okay. Mike, yes, binary options. We do have a binary options offering right now. It has been released to market. We don't provide it on our front end as you see it now on my screen. It's actually done on a case-by-case basis with the binary options brokers. If you have a binary options broker that you think would benefit from this, please ask them to contact us, but the product has been released right now. I can't mention any broker names on this webinar. It's supposed to be broker agnostic, so I can't tell you who supports it right now. If you drop us an email, I'd be more than happy to tell you which binary options brokers support our binary options analysis at this stage. Mike also asked about searching for trading opportunities below 15 minutes. Man, Mike, to be completely honest with you, the reason why we only look for opportunities above 15 minutes is because below 15 minutes they're 50-50. We prefer to give you a better quality product. If you look at our performance stats right now, again, the performance stats are based on past performance, might not be indicative of future performance. We try to have a hit rate of about 65 to 70% of hitting our target region. When you go down below 15 minutes, it becomes a 50-50 game. You might as well throw a coin up in the air and trade red or black at the casino. Okay, I think we better cut it, I think. So
okay, yeah, Ilan, if people want, we'll leave the room open, and we'll
Okay.
try and answer questions as they come up by writing it in the box, the question
Okay.
box.
Okay, let me leave the room open. I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll finish it off right now because this has gone for very, very long. Normally my presentations are 30 minutes. So I must say I had mixed feelings about today's presentation. Because I got a lot of technical queries, which is I'm a little bit disappointed at. Not with the audience, obviously, but with our own service. Maybe we're not sending out the information in a timely fashion. You have my assurance that we will have a look into that to figure out if there are any technical difficulties or delays from our side about getting the results to everyone. If there are questions, please ask them now on the screen. Otherwise, drop us an email to support@autochartist.com. Thank you, everybody, for attending today's webinar. Really much appreciated. And the next webinar, I think we'll do a more formal presentation about a specific topic, right, Errol? And then we'll have more structure to it. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye.